Coming up with a business name can be hard. Not only do you want something that is creative, unique, and memorable, but it needs to sound good too. But do you know what can be harder than naming a business? It's going through the entire process of naming a business and then having to change it because someone else owns the exclusive rights to it. Hi, I'm Greg Bohl from StartingYourBusiness.com, and I want to show you how to check if anyone has registered a federal trademark for the business name that you want to use by doing a search with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. The great news is that there is no cost for this search, and it's only going to take a few minutes of your time to do. Even though I've helped a lot of entrepreneurs do this search and even saved a few from making an expensive mistake, I do want to warn you that I'm a random guy on the internet and not an attorney. So this information does not replace the services of a legal professional. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's move on to the search. To get started, you will visit the USPTO website at uspto.gov. USPTO is an abbreviation for the United States Patent and Trademark Office, which is a federal agency that grants U.S. patents and trademarks. When you are on the site, you will first hover over trademarks and then click on Searching Trademarks. Next, let's click on Search Our Trademark Database, TESS. TESS stands for Trademark Electronic Search System, and since this is a federal agency, there are, of course, going to be acronyms for just about everything. TESS just refers to the database where registered trademarks are held. And now we're going to click on Basic Wordmark Search. And here we can start searching by name. And I'm going to run through a few examples. For the first example, I'm going to search for ninja mowing. You may not see ninjas mow very often, but ninjas are sneaky, so you probably wouldn't. Plus, ninjas have sharp blades, so this seems like a perfect name. With this name search, we get the response that there were no test records found. Apparently, no one else must have thought this was a very good name because a trademark hasn't been registered yet. If you get this response after searching for your name, it likely means you can freely operate with it unless there is another ninja mowing already operating in your local area. I'll explain more about how a local competitor can't use the name of another local business through the common law trademark in a bit. Now, what if you want to register this name for yourself? The answer gets a little bit more complex because if there is another business that is actively using this name in their business, even if it isn't registered with the USPTO, a trademark isn't likely going to be granted. But this also means that you can use this name and not worry that someone will come along later, trademark the name, and then force you to change it. When doing a search, I would also recommend using some slight variations of your name, like Ninja Mow or Ninja Mowers, just to be sure there isn't a name that is super close that could result in trademark infringement. If there is one that is close and you really want to use that name, you will probably want to use a trademark service like LegalZoom or hire an intellectual property attorney to ensure you can actually use the name. In our second search, I'm going to look for Needle Ninja. When we type in this name, we get a positive result. Unlike the last search, this time we have a dead trademark. A dead trademark means that this name was previously registered with the USPTO but isn't any longer. There can be many reasons for this, but just because a mark is listed as dead doesn't mean that it is automatically available. Generally, a dead trademark is available to register if it has been abandoned for somewhere between 3 to 5 years. While it's likely that the original registrant isn't using the name any longer, they may have just decided not to renew it and are still using the mark in their business. And this is important to know, but just by actively using a business name, there is limited protection from someone else using it through what's called common law trademark protection. What is a common law trademark, you may ask? Well, a common law trademark is basically an informal trademark that is available to every business just by using their name in commerce. and it only gives protection in a very limited geographical area. There is no cost for a common law trademark as it can't be registered, and while not as strong as a federal trademark, the common law trademark can stop someone in the same town from intentionally trying to confuse customers by using the same name as a competitor. Going back to the dead trademark, if you come across one in your search, you may want to get legal assistance to ensure that you can actually use the name. Our last search will be for toilet ninjas. Here, we get 2 positive results and both are live. A live result means that there is a registered trademark and someone has the exclusive rights to use that name. This will usually mean you can't use it, but maybe you still can. You see, when a trademark is registered, there are several trademark classifications to select from, which represent a wide range of industries. Even if someone had the money to register a name in all of the classes, they have to actually use that name in each class. This keeps someone from sitting on the name and keeping someone else from legitimately using it. A list of international classes can be found on the uspto.gov website. In this example, the first Toilet Ninjas result is registered to IC or International Class 009, which is downloadable computer game programs, while the other result is IC 028, which is dolls and toy figurines. So, if you wanted to name your housekeeping service Toilet Ninjas, you could likely use the name, as it could be registered under IC 037, in which housekeeping is a subcategory under building construction and repair. If your result comes up with a match, but is in a different category, it is very likely that it can be used. But to avoid making a mistake, it may be well worth the expense to use a trademark service like LegalZoom or a trademark attorney to give proper advice as to whether that trademark is available for you to use. In addition to checking the USPTO's website for federally registered trademarks, I would also recommend checking your state trademark database as well. Each state typically houses the trademark database with its Secretary of State's office, while other states have a specific department dedicated to trademark registration. The search process is very similar to what I went over above. The search is quick and free to do as well. A trademark attorney or intellectual protection attorney is going to be the best choice in the registration process, as they will provide the most complete protection, but it isn't going to be cheap. LegalZoom and other similar services are another option, and while maybe not as good as a dedicated attorney, they are more affordable and often better than trying to figure out the ins and outs of the trademark process. That wraps up this video on how to do a trademark search for your business name. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, would you please consider liking and subscribing to our channel? This lets me know that the work that I'm doing is helping people get their businesses started. Last, if you are looking for more information on starting a business, check out startingyourbusiness.com. Also, if you have any questions, please ask in the comments. Remember though, I'm not a legal professional, but I'll personally answer any questions that I can about starting a business.